Welcome to Just in Our Minds, and today is a very, very special guest. Top 1%, and I'll say this, top 1% stuntman. He's been in a plethora of movies, also an actor, and soon to be business owner, right? And then also stunt coordinator. So this is Chris Reid.
Good to be here, man.
Yeah, you were one of my first podcast guests.
Yeah.
In 2022 or 2023?
Something like that, back in your living room.
Yep, back in the living room with the bad sound quality. You could hear it in my refrigerator. But yeah, so I guess we could just start from the beginning even. Like we'll go back into that. We could tap back into other people if they want to hear the beginning, hear the difference there. But since we have the video, why not we go through? If we want to start from the very beginning.
My beginning?
So you're like, I was a little fish swimming in the...
It all started in Yakima, Washington. But yeah, that's where I grew up.
Yeah,
and
gymnastics, right? Is the beginning of the story?
Yeah, basically, both my parents, they were collegiate gymnasts. My dad started gymnastics school after college, basically, a little bit after college. Met my mom up in Washington State, and they started a school together, had 3 kids, me and my 2 sisters. And basically, like, day after I was born, I was in my mom or dad's arms while they were coaching gymnastics. And then they put me in classes and just kind of by default started competing. And competed up through high school. Then I was getting more into soccer and other sports. But my dad also is a very extreme athlete with rock climbing, windsurfing, mountain biking. So he got me into those activities as well. So would be climbing mountains with him in the summer, snowboarding, all that kind of outdoorsy stuff. Mm-hmm. So pretty active upbringing. And then I played.
Also, just while we're on his parents, his great parents. Like we met them when for that gymnastics.
Yeah, they were in town for gymnastics for a meet.
Great people.
Yeah.
You can see, and everybody around had nothing but great things to say about your family, and it speaks volumes too. Because Chris is a great guy. He's one of my favorite humans to hang out with. Just reminds me what nice is.
Oh, thanks, man. But yeah, I feel really fortunate. It was a good upbringing, and super thankful that it was an active upbringing because that just lends to what I'm doing these days.
It makes sense how it translates to, and it like being able to be, because you have to be analytical. I'm sure there's stuntmen that might not be, like to certain aspects over the years. You know,
yeah, they're out there.
Yeah, because I've met a couple people in LA, like probably 2019. And I was like, oh man, maybe they're more on set, you know. But not to bash, I don't know very many stuntmen, but like to see that level of like being able to calculate life through dangerous situations it's a skill in itself.
Yeah, and there's nuance to how people can do it best. And for myself, it's more analytical, calculated. I wouldn't call myself like a daredevil, mm-hmm. But I do enjoy doing things with higher risk, and to make a career out of it has been pretty cool. But if I'm going into a stunt or anything really that's high risk, I do it calculated and make sure that I'm very prepared to do it because I care about my longevity in the career. Mm-hmm. But the industry is definitely full of.
It's like any industry, right? You're going to have the archetypes and the characters.
Yeah.
You probably need a team of a lot of that. You're like every once in a while, you're going to be like, old Greg will do that scene. Let's call him Greg, you know?
Yeah, there are those stunt guys who people call because they know, they'll do the really crazy stuff. Yeah. And I mean, it's an industry that's born out of, essentially cowboys back in the day who were more daredevilish because it was stunts that haven't been done before, or they were stunts that haven't been done before. And so, the old Westerns and just those old action flicks from back in the day, they were figuring stuff out. And so that's when you could be calculated, but sometimes it was like, well, let's just try it out. When, especially the big things like the car stuff, like cannon rolls and stuff like that, where they literally put a cannon in the bottom of a car to flip it. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So they had to experiment back then, but now.
Oh, and those cars too are all steel and metal and like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Just like flipping a 1960s or 1970s car.
Yeah. Very unforgiving, very unforgiving. And, it's pretty remarkable hearing those stories, but now most stunts have been done really. So there's a procedure to do them, and it's been figured out to do it in a safer way. There's still danger and people still get hurt, but it's a little more reassuring that okay, there's a track record of how this stunt has been done, so I know the technique. So there's a lot more safety protocol these days, and with CGI too, that helps with safety. They can make up for not having to do something as insane that really could get someone hurt. And so it's a safer industry, although bumps and bruises happen all the time still.
Yeah, that was what some of the people I met that, or at least I guess it could be an idea too, but the few people I met, they were like, drinking on weekends or whatever. And like, they talk about, you could tell like that it might've been more adrenaline based rather than like all the time. Like it. So I think one of them is I forget his name. Finnegan is his last name. He was in California. I forget his first name. But he was like a surfer for a while, and then but yeah, like you could just tell, like because you could smell it on him, like 'cause you worked at the Human Garage, and I'm like, oh man, is that what it's like? Because you see it in the movies or whatever, and it's I'm not to give stuntmen a bad name. I don't think it's that all the way across the board. It's the same thing with like fighters or anything else. You just have the rough and rugged. Some people approach life a little different than others.
Yeah, and it could also be the time period, because you also hear that about actors, back in the day when
the cigarettes and the alcohol.
Cigarette and the coke and the trailer and in the green room or whatever. So it could also be the time.
Because he was probably, this was 2018. So that's almost 10 years ago now. It was like 7 years ago. And he was in his 40s then. So maybe. Yeah. So that's probably. Probably the 80s. He was a stuntman in like the late 70s, early 80s. Yeah,
that was definitely an exciting time. And in this, you hear a lot of stories from the old timers about just how insane it was back then. And so, I think in general, the stunt industry has tamed down a little bit as far as, the partying and all that. But there's still some wild guys.
Yeah, dude, that's why I think it's cool. Like a long time, or was it the movie with the movie with Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Tarantino.
So I guess Tarantino film. I love that movie. But that's what you sometimes I think of as like that Brad Pitt character. He's just
living in the trailer.
Yeah, living in the trailer with the dog. But he could live a good life if he wanted to, type of deal. But I'm sure.
But he just chooses that lifestyle.
So it's cool to see that version, and then to see people like yourself that I'm like, oh, geez. Yeah, he's calculated. He doesn't get hurt all the time.
Be a little more calculated.
That opened my eyes to like the lack of knowledge I had for that career and the people that were in there.
Right. The history of it has been that part of Hollywood is in the shadows, because that's kind of the point. You don't want to know that it's actually the double doing that stunt. You want everyone to think it's the actor. But lately, with like Fall Guy and Once Upon a Time, there's been more of a spotlight on stunts, which is cool. And, it's interesting, for people to learn about something that's not been at the forefront for, the history of Hollywood.
Exactly. And then I hear about it. Now I see more of it. It's like the actors knew who the badasses were on stage or on set, usually, right? And then you get a different kind of, hopefully you get a different kind of respect, or like the different.
Yeah. They're adding the stunts to the Academy Awards now. I think starting with movies released, it's either this year or next year. So that's great. They've been pushing for that for years. And so it's nice that it's such an important part of movie history and just movies in general. Because this is the most sane argument I ever heard for trying to get the Academy Award. But when they cut together a trailer and try to promote a movie, even if it's just like a drama, what's in the trailer? It's usually the action. Yep. And so there's always going to be stunts involved with the action. So they use stunts to sell the movie, to get people interested in it, and yet they're not giving stunts an Oscar. Yeah. So that was just the weird. It just didn't make sense, because it's such an important part of making a movie exciting.
100%.
And along with so many other parts of it, but so it's been pretty cool, because for myself, I over just in recent years kind of hit a nice stride in my career. And so the timing of me hitting my stride along with stunts getting this recognition has been pretty neat.
Oh, and then you're coming in you're coming in for that, like you said, that stride, and now you actually have a finish line, hypothetically, like the race is like, you're like, oh, look at this, everybody's showing up for this race.
So now, there's people flocking to the industry, and AI is flocking in and killing it all.
I was gonna say, that's the interesting thing too. Like, so if they're starting to add stuff like that, maybe it'll hold tight on having actual stunt people in there too, because hopefully, because then if they have an Academy Award hopefully they don't give it to AI. That'd be
hopefully they don't give any Academy Awards to AI. That wouldn't make sense. Mm-hmm. But the AI issue is interesting. Everyone, there's a lot of fear that it would take away jobs. And I hear and understand both sides of it. Like, some people are saying, well, they thought that CGI would take away stunt jobs and acting jobs, but and maybe it has, but it's also enhanced stunts that we can do.
And then maybe in some aspects there are some that you guys don't want to do, like that are completely like ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that production doesn't want to do because it'd be really expensive and the insurance would be insane. But with AI, recently, did you see the video of it was Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt fighting? It looks pretty damn seamless. Like, it looks pretty real, but it's totally AI. This Chinese company made it, and the caption is all like, Hollywood is cooked or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. I see that and it looks cool, but knowing it's AI, knowing it's fake, like, then I automatically know no talent went into it. And I think people want to see talent. Like, you look at John Wick, you look at Keanu, everyone knows he went through all that training. He's doing those fights, and that's real people who put in the freaking hours of work and years of experience. And John Wick kills it. If it's a well-made movie, everyone loves it even more, knowing it's real and real talent and pain went into that. Whereas, someone prompted this video of Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt fighting, and it's cool. It's like sensational, but I don't think it has feet. Like, I don't think it has longevity as far as catching interest, because people know that some guy sitting in a chair just fucking typed it out.
It's like, if you want to watch an anime movie, you go to watch an anime movie, right?
Yeah.
And then it should be its own separate category, right?
Yeah.
And
its own genre.
Yeah, because I mean, I seen one the other day. It was like Joe Rogan and Keanu Reeves fighting, and I'm like, it was at during a podcast, and he was like, "Can you show me what you did with the pencil?" And then he gets up and he's like, "They're fighting." I'm like, well, that's fun, but it's not
fun. Yeah,
but I agree. I think, but there's always that lane, right? That hopefully that's going to stay there. It's like, if you eat organic or anything else, there's going to be somebody that wants a specific thing. They want that real painting. They don't want just like a printout.
They want to see the work and the fruits of labor. And I think, if you want to see something crazy and messed up and out of the ordinary, sure, you can prompt something in or see what someone else prompted in. And so I think that in itself, that'll take a market share, I think, for sure. It'll be a genre, but I think people genuinely want to see real people coming up with real ideas and putting the work in and seeing what comes of that. So who's to say how much of a market share AI will take? But, I think, like, my optimistic view, and this is my true view, is that it'll just be its own separate thing. It'll make a lot of money, but I think Hollywood and people will still be making films and TV.
Hopefully, I mean, apparently it might be a little bit less. It could be less money in some aspects, or less like low budget random things.
Could be, yeah.
Or it could mean there's more real money to funnel towards the good movies too, like hypothetically.
Yeah, that could be too. But I don't know. It's still very new, and
I can see how that's
so different in 1 year.
Well, it's like the printing press that came out. It does affect someone.
Yeah,
positively and negatively, just like anything else.
Yeah.
But plus in this day and age too, there's so many scare tactics across the board. You see every single little second of everything, so you're able to we're just a culture of overstimulation.
Oh, absolutely, and it's only going to get worse because now, like, I can jump onto chat and make pictures and videos or whatever, and along with a billion other people. So if we're all doing that at once, it's like, I don't know, you just kind of have to choose your hodgepodge of things you're going to consume. and we'll see what wins.
Also with the AI, like the whole water thing, like how it like eats up a bunch of, I don't know how accurate.
Right, for the servers or something.
Yeah, like that the grid system for those machines. Like I'm wondering if there's going to be a cap for that eventually.
Well, it's energy too, from what I've heard. So I have a buddy he works for an AI company, and I asked him about this. Because I heard there's a crisis over energy and all these different, Meta and Chat and whoever owns Chat, I forget, but and Grok and all these AI companies are fighting over energy consumption because for them to, I think it's not for us to use it in its current version, but for that company to upgrade to its next version. Like Chat 5.0 or 6.0, for them to go to from 5.0 to 6.0, it takes an obscene amount of energy for them to do that part. And so they all want to do that, but there's not enough energy for all of them to keep upgrading their systems. So right now, like I think Amazon bought a couple nuclear power facilities.
Oh my gosh.
So they're cranking up nuclear again.
Yeah, it's wild.
Which is a whole other thing. But
yeah, it's a whole other thing. I'm like, it's wild to see what's happening, and apparently it's above my pay grade to understand it on that level. Yeah. I'm like,
I get paid.
I remember the first time I was like, water? It's like
water.
Water
right.
is it uses water? Like, I guess that makes sense. Like, I'm like, so I started digging into it a little bit, but I'm like, I don't need to.
Yeah, what are we going to do with that
too
information?
deep? Like now, I'm like getting frustrated at AI, and I'm like,
and I'm asking AI, what's with the water?
Yeah. I was like, nothing, dude. We're good.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, what's with you and your issues?
Yeah. Here's a video of Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt.
Yeah, here you go. Look at this. This is great. Look at you. We gave you 12-pack or whatever. Like it's funny to prompt in, but sometimes too, I feel like AI it'll get lazy if you ask it too many times. Have you ever noticed that? Like if you have something redone, like
it starts
sometimes
getting lazy.
It seems like it gets lazy. I even asked it, and he was like, "Yeah, you're right." I'm like,
have you ever asked it a question and then it gives you an answer and asked, "Are you sure?" Because I've one time I was going to like a concert, and I was trying to figure out what time the headliner was going to go on, and I asked, and Chat gave me a certain time, and it didn't really make sense to me with what time the concert should be over, and so I literally asked, "Are you sure about that?" And it said, "Oh yeah, after looking again, the headliner will actually be on at this time." And I was like, "Well, what the fuck? Why don't you give me that answer? Why don't you try hard the first time?" And so I'm getting mad at it. I
apologize to it sometimes too. Yeah, I'm like, my bad. I was just like,
well, when Terminator becomes real life,
Dane Cook, do you ever remember his comedy when he talks about the guy that goes to shoot up the workspace?
I don't remember that.
Oh, so he talks about, he's like, yeah, the weird guy, I befriend them. Those are the guys that shoot up your workplace.
Right,
he's like, and then he's like, yeah, the day he does it, he's going to walk by and he's going to be like, "Thank you for the Snickers bar." And then just keep walking. So
that's a great callback. That's from ages ago.
Yeah. That's what I
remember
got.
that.
But yeah, so I just think of that kind of stuff. It's like I say thank you and please and stuff just because I'm like, I don't know. Like when these Tesla robots roll out,
they'll pass over your house.
Justin's cool. Chris is cool. Keep
Don't
going.
worry.
Yeah, I'm like, all
he
right.
said thank you.
Yeah, but he was nice to us. I'm like, all right, thank you. Bye. I'm going to go change my drawers. So getting back to the origins of you and your in your come up from into stunting in general. So you love I guess they're extreme sports to the normal person, but there's more extreme. So
I guess out of the ordinary.
Yeah,
sports.
out of the
Not everyone grew up windsurfing.
Yeah, exactly, above average sports.
Yeah,
very active.
Yeah.
And then so did you? I remember us talking about this, but I forgot the specifics. So this is perfect. So the questions. I know you went to college. Mm-hmm. And then what did you want to do originally?
Originally, I actually wanted to be a pilot.
That's right.
Yeah. This was, I'd say probably starting in elementary or middle school. I wanted to be a pilot and fighter pilot and then into commercial flight because I heard, if you're flying 747s, you're making a shit ton of money. And so my end goal was that. And then it was my senior year of high school. I was pretty sick. I toured different flight schools, and I was applying to them. And I just woke up with a revelation of realizing that if I'm like 10, 20 years into being this long haul pilot for Delta, I feel like I would just start feeling like a bus driver, which that just fits my personality. Like I need novelty to stay interested. And so
I realize that's my life too.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of people. And so I didn't want that. I didn't want to start feeling like a bus driver. And also just sitting down for that long time and changing time zones. Hearing now about like the health issues that pilots deal with that.
Well, the radiation from the radar.
And that too. And,
yeah.
So I ended up just going, my really good friend was going to a community college in Eastern Washington. He was playing soccer, and it was a really good school for soccer. And so I was really into that sport. And so I went there.
You played, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So played college soccer, transferred to a 4-year school in that same town. And so I grew up more of like a jock, not like typical jock, but just very active in sports. And then in college, like my second year, no, it was freshman year. I wandered into a theater audition just for the hell of it. And my family was pretty damn shocked because I'd never had any interest in theater before that. But I went to one of the plays that our college was putting on, and watching the actors up there, it just looked like a lot of fun. So I was like, why not? Like, it's winter, it's off season. I have time. So I auditioned for a play. I got a part, and I just instantly fell in love with it. And so went back, auditioned for the next play, got a part, and just kept going back. And then I was having so much fun with it. And when I transferred to the 4-year school, they had a really good theater department. So I just decided to make it my major. And yeah, it was just the most fun. Fell in love with acting. Got into a program in the Midwest that was for recent college grad. It was kind of like a shotgun graduate program for actors. And from there, I was debating whether to move to New York or LA. I was kind of a film buff, so film was definitely the end goal, and that's LA. So moved to LA originally for acting. With my gymnastics background, I met some people in the industry, and they said, well, maybe you should do stunts, because a lot of ex-gymnasts make good stunt performers. And so I met a really good friend, but he introduced me to some people, brought me onto like some low budget movies or TV shows, did some high falls, did some fights, and really fell in love with that immediately. And so started training with people and networking. And it was just, with stunts, there's no agent to get you jobs. It's all networking that you do on your own. And so, meeting the right people and just giving a good impression will get you onto set, and people knowing about you will recommend you to stunt coordinators they're the ones who do the hiring of stunt people. And so, yeah, just slowly over years snowballed into a career. And along the way, I got some acting jobs and kept acting.
The modeling helped too, right? Did you start doing that?
Yeah. So I started modeling as well. When I first moved to LA, I was coaching gymnastics because that was just a good day job just to get cash for
probably
expensive
fun
city.
too, right?
Yeah. I coached kids gymnastics, and yeah, it was a blast. Yeah, it was it was way better than waiting tables, which is what most people do.
Yeah,
that's the stereotype.
I was a server too. So
yeah. But I was running around with kids just teaching them how to cartwheel, and yeah, that was really fun. I taught Adam Sandler's kids, actually. Yeah.
I can only imagine moms probably stuck around that gym.
Maybe.
Yeah. I was like, they don't sit in the car when Chris is there.
It's like, wait, your kid just did a class. Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah. I was like, is there an adult class this week? So Adam Sandler, that's cool too.
It was a gym where a lot of celebrities brought their kids. So that was just a cool first immersion into LA life.
Did that help at all? Like, did maybe connections or anything like that?
There's one,
because I guess you could always put your foot in your mouth and you're like, I'm trying to be an actor.
Well, you can imagine, especially people like Adam Sandler coming in, the attention he gets, and so I don't know. I reserve to not try to be like that, fanboying and not trying to get favors. So I really don't try that. But
how to to be a person to a person, or treat them like people rather than that.
Yeah, because I'm sure they get enough of that. Yeah. But there is one actor who I was teaching his son, And he actually he volunteered to bring me onto set and meet the stunt coordinator on this show that he was doing. And so that was actually one of the first times that I was able to network and meet a stunt coordinator who then months down the road hired me. So that like something did come out of that, but it wasn't really me seeking it. But when I got into modeling, that's when I was able to kind of be more full-time focused on auditioning and trying to pick up stunt jobs and all that, because it just freed up time. So that's what I was doing for a few years, is, auditioning, modeling, getting little stunt jobs here and there.
What were some of your biggest hurdles mentally, physically, through the process of like stepping up and into that realm? Because that's where I think, because you brought it up to me, you're like, dude, you could probably do it. And then I was just so, for me, I'm just like, man, I don't know where to start. Like that, it's that whole thing. So I'm sure, like you said, there's a process, but was there some mental hurdles that you had to get over? Or was it kind of like, what was the evolution of from the beginning that you can think of?
Well, I think that town, LA, and that industry is just full of having to deal with rejection in different ways. So that's definitely a hurdle, is, you're putting yourself out there, you're showcasing your talent, and you're not getting any recognition for it. So you definitely have to tell your ego to take a back seat, and just knowing, this is what I want to do, this is my future, and it'll come about when it's supposed to come about. So it's a lot of, I'd say a big hurdle is just kind of is letting go of control. It's so different than just getting hired at a regular 9-to-5 job. Is you can see your future pretty clearly. Okay, if I work this many years, I'll be at this position most likely, I'll be making this much money. So you can really plan accordingly with what your track record shows, or what your future track record can show. And so with just Hollywood in general, even if you're an A-lister, you can't predict what you're gonna do, sometimes the following week. And so that's something to get used to, but that's something that I think a lot of people can give them anxiety, is not knowing their future. But I actually started turning it into just an exciting, motivating aspect of the industry, because I don't know, I tried my best to be an optimist. And so when I look at a future that's unknown, then I just imagine the best possible outcomes. And
you're really good at that. Even like just going to the stunt gym with your different places, like your pep talks out loud are so like I love seeing that. I'm like, oh, that's probably what's going on in his head sometimes. Like you do have a very optimistic, I've seen it and heard it. Like when you're even talking to yourself, I'm like, man, how do I need to develop that?
Well, it's, I don't know. And that's just been trial and error over the years, and I think I got a lot of that from my parents. They're pretty positive people in general too. And also, like, growing up being a gymnast, it's a very, very difficult sport, and having a positive mindset when learning these insanely difficult skills just helps you learn them better. If you're getting down on yourself for not getting this skill for weeks after weeks, then you're not going to get as quickly as, just knowing that you can do it. And so, I don't know, going into this industry of the unknown, having a positive outlook came fairly natural. But not to say I didn't have,
you're down. Yeah, you're human.
Down times. And
because I've seen the stress too. You've expressed it to me sometimes.
Yeah, it definitely gets stressful.
Especially during 2020 and some of those other areas, like when things like just, they fell apart in front of you and you're like, dang, I don't know what I can do.
And when it's something more, it's something larger, like, the entire industry shutting down. Then the technique is like, well, I have zero control over this at all. So, I can just change my mindset about it. And so that's, with AI now, that's kind of a threat to the industry, it seems to be. So my choice is to look at it more optimistically.
And to stand out, right? And just to make sure you keep doing your best.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if there's going to be fewer jobs, then I'm going to do my best to get those jobs. Yeah.
And people are bitter, like nowadays too. In any industry, I feel like there's a lot of people that just like let that take over them and consume them too. And if you don't have optimism, then you're going to attract more negative or seem more negative.
Yeah, I'm a huge believer of that.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Like you, because your frequency can change, and I've been on both sides of that frequency. Like where I feel like I'm like the world is happening to me, or like it's for me, and it can be both sides.
Yeah.
So what are some of the what do you think some of the biggest hurdles were for like actual stunts? Were there like certain stunts that you like were approaching, and was maybe some of the most intimidating ones, or some of your favorite ones too, so we could play on both sides?
Yeah.
Hopefully that's not too much of a loaded question.
No, it's not. I can tell you one of my favorites, which was also one of my more difficult ones, and it was my first car hit. Mm-hmm. So like actually getting hit by a car, not just like me driving a car and hitting something. So me getting hit by a car, it was my very first one. And some stunt people see it as like a rite of passage kind of thing.
You were telling me about, I remember when that happened.
It can kind of be seen as that because it's a pretty epic stunt, pretty badass. But so it was my very first car hit, and it was on a very big movie, and it was to my first time doubling Brad Pitt. Mm-hmm. And it was for a stunt coordinator who it's my first time working for him, and he's a fucking legend. His name's Doug Coleman.
That's an old ass car too. Like, and I feel like that didn't look like a good car to have to roll
so
over.
A lot of things were stacked against me.
Like the shape of the hood too.
So it was an old Model T style car, so for a car hit, there is a technique, and it's very helpful if the windshield is slanted like a modern car, because you roll up onto a slanted hood and you roll up onto a slanted window. So you're not hitting it with full force. You kind of like skip off of it up onto the roof, or, sometimes the driver will stop immediately as you're on it. And so you'll just slide down a slant.
Momentum works with you, right?
Yeah. So if you look, yeah, exactly. And so if you look at a photo of an old Model T style car, those cars are just straight flat, vertical grille and vertical windshield. And so that is a full force, wall that's basically hitting you as you're getting hit by it. So that was the car that was going to hit me.
I guess the hood too, right? It's not a big, some of those like are just tapered and flat even on
and
both
it's
sides.
Tall. Yeah. So the hood came up to my chest basically.
Oh my gosh.
So the technique is you get up over the grill onto the hood and hit the windshield. And so the first hurdle
literally
is, it's a very high grill to get up over. And then in the scene, Brad's character gets blindsided by it too. So it's supposed to take him out of nowhere, just T-boning him. So I have to use my peripheral as well. And so the lead up to this, it's kind of a funny lead up. So I get to set, it's a night shoot, sun setting. I meet up with a stunt coordinator. He takes me out to where we're going to do it. It's just out in the desert, north of LA. And the director is Damien Chazelle, who he's the director of my favorite movie, Whiplash. And so the stakes are high for me to make a very good impression, because it would just be the worst if I didn't do a good job.
Oh no.
So this stunt coordinator takes me to Damien. He's got his board with his shot list and everything. And Doug just wants to introduce me and get me, we want to get information like, when are we going to do it? Because it's a 3-night shoot, and we don't know when I'm going to do it, which is also nerve-wracking. And so we go up to Damien, and Doug's talking to him about logistics a little bit, and then Doug just quickly asks, like, well, how many times do you want to do it? Which typically it's one. Like a director will be like, oh, let's just have him do it once because it's a car hit. Damien goes, I want him to do it 4 times. And Doug turns around and looks at me and just goes, like, wink, like, great, 4 times, anything for you, Damien. And in my head, I'm like, okay, cool. I get 4 tries at this. Like, all right, cool. But then on the way home, I called a friend. So we didn't do it that first night, but on the way home, I called a friend and told him, like, yeah, I'm going to do it maybe tomorrow or the next night. They want to do it 4 times. And they like almost threw up because they're just like, what? You have to do it 4 times. It's not like, let's see after the first one. But Damien, he's got his vision.
Yeah.
Watching him work, I think he's a genius. So
like,
he has his
angles
vision.
Or something.
He knows how he wants to cut it together.
Yeah.
And so it's not like it's just going to be all from this angle. Let's just do it 4 times and see. He's got his vision. And I trusted that. So Second night comes around, you know, I barely sleep during the day because I'm thinking about how I'm going to do it. And, you know,
and then after that conversation too, you're like,
also that is like, okay, maybe this night I'm going to do it I'm going to get hit by a car 4 times.
Yeah.
And so the first night, you know, is just watching the actors do their thing. Brad Pitt's there, Margot Robbie's there, and quite a few others. It's just a big party scene in the desert. And so I haven't met any of the actors yet. And second night comes around, and Doug's daughter, Whitney, was also stunt coordinating. And so, you know, she's like, have you met Brad yet? And I was like, no, I haven't really had a chance. And she said, well, we should definitely introduce you before you do this. It'd be good. And I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. And at one point, Brad's over by the car I'm going to get hit by, and no one's really talking to him. He's just chilling. And I was like, oh, what the hell? I'll go talk to him. You know, he's a very approachable guy.
Yeah. Seems like it.
Yeah, super nice. So I go up to him. I'm dressed like him, so he immediately knows who I am. But, you know, I say, hey man, I'm Chris. I'm your stunt double. And he gives me just a big handshake, big smile, super nice. And then he just smiles at me, and then he looks at the car, and just the car that I'm going to get hit by. And he looks back at me, and he's just like, fuck. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, gotta love a stuntman. So it's just a cool nod.
Because he's probably done some lower stunt stuff himself, right? I think he talks about it a little bit.
Oh yeah. I mean, like for Troy and for Fight Club, I'm sure he was involved with a lot, and just, I mean, all the movies he's done. So he's been around plenty of stunt guys, and that was after Once Upon a Time in Hollywood when he played one. So I mean, he's got mad respect.
Yeah, because I remember hearing him say, like, he's like, dude, they don't get enough credit.
Yeah, yeah, really, really nice towards stunt performers in general. But that was pretty great. So we just talked for a bit, and it was pretty neat. And that was the night that I did the hit. And so we did a couple like dry runs where we were figuring out the timing. And my good friend Troy Castagnata, he was a driver. Super talented driver, and actually
I can only imagine to get that thing up to speed too. You gotta get
my god, yeah. And it's a clutch, obviously, and so like
you just hear it coming.
Oh my god, yeah, he's bouncing and it's dusty, and like, so huge props to him for consistent speed each time, so I knew exactly where he would be. And I was just,
because there's no RPMs or any. I can't imagine it's just
even I don't think his speedometer really worked either. Like
it's not like there's a light in there.
It was tough for him, yeah. But he killed it. We did a few good dry runs, felt pretty good about it, and then when Brad's getting hit, everyone's just running around in pandemonium and there's dust, but the thing about the dust is it wasn't during our rehearsals. There was no dust. So we go to shoot, and all the extras start running around, and they're kicking up dust, and I can't fucking see my mark.
Oh, shit.
And so they call action, and I know my count. And so I start my run, all the dust. I'm trying to see in my peripheral where Troy is. The camera's behind me. And so I go for it and get up over the hood, get hit, spit off the hood. I shattered the windshield, or cracked it. Shattered, but it didn't like fall, because they put a film over it so it doesn't get in Troy's eyes. And it felt fine, like, you know, kind of what I expected, but it went well. Like, Damien came running over. He said that was great. Everyone was very happy with it. But then I had to do it 3 more times. So they put another windshield in. We did it again. I was used to the dust this time, and luckily, I had the timing down, so it was okay that I was a little bit blind doing it. But it was an insane 3 nights, but it was also like the most rewarding stunt I've ever done, just because it all went pretty much according to plan for something that crazy. Yeah,
and everybody knows how hard it seems to, like, some people knew, like the people that you appreciate the accolades from.
Yeah. And so, that was really neat. Yeah.
That was a good one.
That was a wild
one. So
what,
has there been any that like were not so, I mean, there are things that happen that are, I wouldn't say not successful, but some are the We don't have to talk about you getting injured or anything like that, but like, yeah, what have some have been some of the most intimidating ones?
I mean, that one was very intimidating, but
What about the helicopter one? Was that one? How was that one?
oh, you mean the one where I'm like hanging off of it or something? Yeah, that was definitely intimidating. That's one where, so it was for a TV show called SWAT, and it was like their season finale of their last season, and the actor I'm doubling is basically hanging off the skid of a helicopter, and he's rescuing Shamar's character, who's riding on a semi, and it's going like 50 miles an hour. It's like a tanker,
right?
Yeah, a tanker. He's on the top of it. And my actor is basically grabbing him and rescuing him before the tanker explodes. And that one, I mean, like, you're in the hands of the pilot. Your life is in the hands of the pilot. And so that one, like, I'm hooked in. I figured. Like, I'm on a line.
About that one.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that one, I mean, luckily, I wanted to be a pilot for years. So I was actually kind of nerding out. Like, this is sick. I get to ride on a helicopter. And, but yeah, I had to like climb down, lean really in an awkward position. But, that one, you just have to let go, and not literally, but like mentally, you just have to let go and just trust the pilot. And luckily,
I forget, I guess for you got to be tapped into grabbing onto homeboy too, right?
Or well, we did it in two parts. So the first part is we're swooping down, and, Khalid, the stunt double, is on the tanker, and basically the play is that we come in and we do a high five.
Okay.
Camera catches us doing a high five, and then we do a different setup where we're hovering directly over the tanker, and Khalid is attached with a line to the helicopter, and we're grabbing hands and we take off.
Okay.
So they just stitch those together.
That makes way more sense. That's safe. I was thinking about that. I'm like, did you have to like hook onto him or something? Like you hook his wrist? Like, oh my gosh,
that would be insane. But the precision that this pilot could fly was insane, because we'd be going 50 miles an hour, and he's just hovering just with the tanker, just moving just a few inches in any direction, but staying with it. So it was just remarkable, like how talented this pilot was. And so knowing that, like, we did a couple days rehearsal. And that, like, after the first time, I was like, oh, okay, this guy's got it.
Yeah.
It's no big deal for him. Yeah.
Yeah, so you get to be up there, and like you said, you get to nerd out, and you're like, wow, I'm
so
close to
it was
this
the coolest. It was one of the coolest jobs, yeah.
Yeah, and that's wild, too, just because you're meeting, right? And then...
Yeah, he's swooping down to this tanker that's going and hitting the mark every time, getting within like a couple feet. The skids are like a couple feet of hitting it.
Oh my gosh.
And there wasn't one time where I was like, oh shit, that was close.
Yeah.
Not one time. Every time it was just a confident, like, nope, got it.
After that first time, it probably, like you were saying, you just felt more and more like it was more of a fun. And then, because that one I was like, that's crazy. The scene itself looks wild, because you can see it on his Instagram. Well, I guess both of those are up on your top, right? I think those ones
I brag about those.
Yeah, you should. I'm bragging right now for you. And then, like, as for acting, like have there been what have been your favorite roles that you've played, or maybe like we've kind of gone through your favorite stunts. Maybe there's been some more stunts that you really like too, but like, what were some of your favorite roles that you've had, or most surprising too, that maybe you've landed?
Yeah, surprising one was a role on Power Rangers. That was a very surprising one.
Like when you brought up the jock thing, I was like, because that's what you did on that show, right?
Yeah,
like
I played a jock basically.
Yeah.
The follow-up question to that is always, which Power Ranger were you? And I wasn't a Power Ranger. I was basically like the comic relief.
Mm-hmm. You could have been, though. You should have been a Power Ranger.
I auditioned. I first went in for a Power Ranger, and then they gave me this jock comedic role to read for, and then they were immediately into that. So
but that's cool. That was a good one too.
It was one of the most fun roles I've ever had. It was a blast, because it's for Nickelodeon, it's for kids, so it was just over the top comedy.
In New Zealand?
Yeah. I think they still shoot them all over in New Zealand, and they have been. So I was in the 24th and 25th season, and that was in 2016 that we were over there. And so they flew me over there for 9 months to shoot 44 episodes, and It was epic. Yeah.
Dude, that's epic. I remember watching some of those. You told me what season it was, and I was
pretty
like, I was
ridiculous,
able to
yeah.
watch it. I was like, that's fun because it's like the complete opposite of you as a person.
Yeah, it was a good excuse just to be kind of an asshole and like
playing all. That's got to be fun, right? You get to like the whole idea of playing characters, like being able to be somebody else or something else.
Yeah, especially if it's someone who, I don't know, like villains on a TV show have the most fun, they say, you know, because it's things that in normal life you're not allowed to do. So it's kind of it's a hall pass to be able to do that. My character wasn't exactly a villain. He was more just always up to no good. He was always trying to one up the Power Rangers because they were stealing his popularity. Mm-hmm. So it was just ridiculous, wacky things that he was always up to. But it was so much fun. Just being over there. It's such a cool country over there.
Oh, I bet.
The crew over there is amazing. And so I made some really good friends and got to explore the country at the same time.
I'm sure they had a cool stunt team too, right? For the characters that play.
And most people there worked on like Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. So
because it's out there. It was out there, right? It was there in Ireland or somewhere else too, I think.
Maybe like the new. I mean the Lord of the Rings, the original 3, they did all in New Zealand, I believe, all over. But and so a lot of that crew worked on those, and so it was pretty cool hearing their stories,
the backstories and stuff like that, like the trials and tribulations they had to go through. I'm sure there's a lot of that, like, oh my god, on this day we want to talk about rain. You know, like we had to shoot this and
oh yeah, they were in the elements because they were all over the South Island and the mountains there, and they had to be in some pretty epic terrain, which is pretty cool.
I bet there's some amazing hiking and surfing and stuff out there too. You get to experience some fun stuff.
It's such a diverse country because there's white sand beaches, there's black sand beaches, there's mountains, there's sand dunes. It's beautiful. There's Hobbiton now.
Hobbiton, is that like the little hobbit houses?
That's where, like the Shire in the Lord of the Rings, like they kept it. So they built an actual town of the Shire with like the green hills and the Hobbit hills and all that. And it's on the North Island and they kept it as a tourist attraction.
Oh, of course they would. Smart.
And it's in the most like just middle of nowhere podunk town area, but now it's kind of a booming touristy scene. Obviously,
it's gonna be like a Park City.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the Park City of New Zealand, I guess.
Little Hobbit City.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about that because those places look amazing. Like I'll watch videos and stuff on the little hobbit houses. They are actually, some of them are like shorter inside. Did you get to go inside and see them? Some of them are, or most of them are smaller. Like they're built for smaller people. Little people, which makes sense for the movie. Yeah, but some of them are, man, it's been a while, but some of them are normal size. I don't know. Yeah, it's cool. Vaulted ceilings. But then the South Island is where they did a lot of like the grand landscape videos or scenes and establishing shots. So it's cool just driving around the South Island. You're just immediately reminded of Lord of the Rings. Dude, I need to go there sometime. Like now I'm like I recommend it to anyone. We should head out there before life gets too crazy over here. Exactly. No one's going to let us go to other countries anymore. Right. Yeah, you never know. I don't know. But what are some of the roles that are there any roles that you hope for? Like that you could like I know you're doing more of the coordinating, and how is that? We'll talk about that first. What are some of the steps that took that wanted to make you like maybe start doing like being the coordinating role rather than just stunt? And then I know you talked about wanting to start your own side of things. Yeah. With coordinating, so it's a natural progression for some performers to eventually start coordinating. So the stunt coordinator on the set, they work with the director and producers and basically help design the action. And so I see it as a chance to be more creative on set. You know, you can somewhat be creative as a performer, but you're pretty limited with, you're told what you have to do and you perform that and that's your contribution. But a coordinator has more of a contribution to the picture overall. And so that aspect of it really interests me, working and collaborating more on the film set. And so I, in just recent years, felt like I'd like to start making that move into that position because I
feel like I've had enough experience performing and seen quite a bit. I obviously still have more to learn, and I probably always will, but I felt confident enough to start making moves into that position.
It's probably like martial arts or skateboarding or anything like in that realm. Music, it's a deep ocean, right? There's always something else to learn, a new skill. Or a specific person to work with, maybe. Like, I'm sure there's been very pivotal coordinators and other stuntmen and women that you've worked with that have probably given you tips and tricks along the way to really help you.
Yeah, that's the best way to learn, really, especially with stunts, is time on set with other professionals who they've done a stunt this way. These people have done a stunt this way, or they've heard about a technique to do this stunt this way, or just hearing stories about like what went wrong, what went right, you just soak that up like a sponge. Mm-hmm. So I've been lucky enough to work with amazing people and been able to learn from them, even just hearing about their work, but also them literally teaching me. And so, it's been cool in recent years trying on a new role of coordinating, and I've really enjoyed it. It's pretty cool to collaborate and be in the design phase of a stunt, and then being the one who kind of oversees other people perform it and pull it off, mm-hmm. and bringing people together to create some fun action.
And then I'm wondering too, like, apparently there's probably like a different level of stress as a coordinator.
Yeah.
Like, you get to wrangle humans a little bit. Like, I'm sure they're all professional, but like you're the one that's putting people into position points and things like that. Yeah, and
I don't know if things don't go according to plan, it falls on the coordinator, mm-hmm. typically. And overseeing other people doing dangerous things, that's a level of stress that's interesting. So it's I've been finding that I'm fairly good with the stress though, because I feel pretty prepared going into it, and so I think that's,
you've done your 10,000 reps. Like,
it seems like it, yeah.
And then I'm sure probably there over the years too, there's like things that you're like, because you're a leader, you're a thinker. And it's like, oh man, I would have done this like this instead of this, and
right.
Like, so now you get to test your theories.
And so that's part of the learning. That's part of the learning curve is, seeing how things are being done and just kind of standing on the sideline and just thinking like, oh, I could do this a little more efficiently if I just did it this way. Or like I said, just hearing stories of how it was done and rethinking like, well, I could do it differently, and just kind of putting that on the back burner for if it ever comes up again. Mm-hmm. So the preparation is what gets rid of the potential stress. And when I do see coordinators who are super stressed, it's usually because they're just feeling a little bit behind in the preparation and they're a little in over their heads. And that's where I don't want to be. I never want to be that way. And so I'm not afraid to call up a friend and ask for advice on, well, have you ever done a stunt like this? Like, what would you do? Because the friends that I've surrounded myself with in the industry are there just to help each other.
Mm-hmm. It's community.
Yeah. And it's not a feeling of like, well, if I get this job, if they get that job, then that means they took a job away from me. That's not how it works with my community. And
they're excited for you.
Absolutely,
and then I'm sure hopefully there's people too that like you have your people you'll call up. So then you're giving positions to people too, right? And
and we're helping each other out.
Yeah, exactly.
And like if you, I love this industry because if you make a good impression, if you're fun to have on set, if you are talented, then it's really just a few ingredients you need for other people to see that and then recommend you. Because I've done that for people who, like, I worked with them once. I don't know them too well, but I really enjoyed working with them, and I know they're talented, and I know they're good to have around. So I've recommended them to another stunt coordinator who's looking for someone that they fit. And so I want people to do that for me, obviously. So like I'm doing my best to just show up and do a good job and be nice. And really, like, that can get you pretty far in this industry.
Yeah, and then like like you said, you're pleasant to be around, and then you do the job right, like the best of your ability.
Best of my ability.
But that's something I noticed just being on set for things is like, if you're not afraid, apparently don't be just like trying to like have respect for the set and like understand what's going on and spatial awareness and all these things. But that was something I seen a lot of people, not like extras or whoever, not doing, is like when you have an opportunity to maybe talk to people or treat people like humans instead of like these weird idol things, like you can.
Yeah. Or I don't know. It's the film sets really attract a lot of ego too. So it's either, they're idolizing or they think they're hot shit because they're on this film set. Yeah. And you see that in all positions. You see that in the lead actors. You see that in the extras, which is interesting. But so for me, I don't know. I observe behavior and I just calculate like, well, do I want to look like that? I don't think I do. Or, oh, I like how this person's behaving. I want to be like them a little bit more. Yeah,
I guess too, I would ask like when it was a good time, like I'd ask questions or something like that. And I'm like, what is it? What's it, like? Is it okay if I ask you like what that is? And they're like, oh yeah, totally. And then for me, they'd help remember me. They're like, hey Justin, do you want to come over here? I'm like,
exactly.
Yes.
And that's really good. Like you have really good situational awareness, and I think that's essential for a film set. Like just knowing where your place is, but then looking for an opportunity to make a good impression, but not be overbearing or annoying.
Yeah. That's like, that was the one thing I seen on set, and I'm like, oh, they don't have that. Like there was a lot of timid, or there was the ego. There was nowhere in between of like a little bit of confidence, but like being able to have a conversation with somebody when it's time's right. But
and I don't know if that's something you can teach. I don't know. I'm not sure. Because I see people who don't have good situational awareness, and I always wonder, like, could I tell them like, hey, you need to pay attention more to, what your role is right now in the environment. But I don't know. It's really interesting to me that the people who don't have good situational awareness, like what is going through their head? Are they just shooting from the hip? Are they being calculated? I don't know.
You're like, what are you doing?
What are you doing right now? Yeah.
I'm sure there's some of that too. What are some of your favorite sets that you've been on? Like with like over the time
favorite sets. Oh man, number one is the fourth Matrix that they made. So the Matrix was definitely probably number one.
Yeah, I remember going to see that with you at the theater.
Oh right, yeah.
It was me, you, I think Caitlin and Frankie.
Yeah.
So
right,
fun times.
That was because the Matrix movies came out when, what was that, high school or whenever that was. So pretty like formative years of, and so we were shooting in San Francisco downtown, and they were just blowing up so much shit in the business district in the middle of the night. And I had helicopters flying over my head, and there was fire everywhere and smoke. And we did it for like a couple months. So it was just, it was pretty incredible. And I was just pinching myself the whole time. But another one was a movie called Wolves, where we shot in New York, also all night for like 6 weeks, I think.
That's got to be hard too, right? The time change, the schedule sometimes, like trying to fit naps in, hopefully, or something.
Yeah, it can. Yeah, night shoots can be pretty unforgiving. But I think if it's a long run of night shoots, if it's not too long, it's pretty, for me, I can transition into that schedule pretty well. And I kind of like it sometimes, especially if you're in a cool location and you're shooting at night. I don't know. It feels kind of cool that like everyone's asleep while we're like making this badass stuff. But what's torture is if it's like 3 night shoots and then not, because then just switching over to like, do I switch over my sleep schedule? And then how do I do that just for 3 nights and then switching back? So that can be a bitch.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And I always wonder too, because you tell me like, oh, we're switching into nights. And I know you take pride in your sleep. And when you're not out there having fun in deserts and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's I can only imagine too. Sometimes I feel like that can be counterproductive for like your full thought process. Like
I mean,
you're like, it's kind of been up for 12 hours, and like now I still got to do this thing.
It's crazy when you think about it. Like here we are trying to pull off some wild stunts and we're all sleep deprived. Like, is this smart, guys? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And then, but they have professionals like you and the team. I'm sure your adrenaline's going. Things are like, you're more hyper focused, calculated. You
trying
don't have time to be tired.
Right. Yeah. There's no opportunity to be tired.
Yeah. Was that video when he's just like drinking the coffee? Exactly. That's going to be
that is it.
Yeah. I just
plenty of coffee. Yeah.
Who's it's a meme I'm thinking of. Is it, dang, it doesn't matter. It's an actor.
I can picture it. Yeah.
It's what's his name? Is it Matthew McConaughey?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Nice job.
Yeah. I don't know how I got that. Yeah. Just like Samsonite.
True Detective?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. When he's just like, his eyes are all big and he's like,
yeah.
So there, you said the Wolf set and then Mission Impossible 4
or Matrix.
Matrix 4.
Mission Impossible would be great.
Yeah, not yet. For Mission Impossible 26, you'll be on. Set
yeah,
sure.
Right. When Tom is 82.
Yeah, you're gonna. But he can't do his own stunts anymore. He'll help jump across the roofs. Yeah. Have you ever done any of those where you do like the roof scenes where you get to jump across? Was that the Matrix? Did you get to do that? On the Matrix?
Yeah, the opening scene of that one. I'm one of the agents. Yeah, chasing her. Right? Yeah,
or her. Sorry.
Yeah, and and then I've done a couple commercials where they needed like some parkour stuff across the roof, and those are a blast.
Those are fun.
Yeah.
What are some of the so you're working on Homestead right now, correct?
Yeah,
Can you say
that's
that?
a show.
I think you say because it's out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's season 2 of Homestead is a show we're shooting here in Utah, and we just started. Like our first week was last week. Last week.
I love that they put a lot of ex-military and veterans in. It seemed like for season 1.
Yeah. Well, the creators are in that world, and so they reach out to local vets to bring them on, and they want, it's the scenes where there's a military element. They want to be super realistic because that's their background. So it's been pretty neat working with some local guys. Yeah, they're pretty badass.
Yeah, dude, Vince is a shout out to Vince. He's Vince a badass. Awesome. Like his story's so crazy. Have you read Borderland? I think it's Borderland.
No,
his
I
book.
haven't.
I think I have a copy, but I might have done the Audible. But his book's good. Yeah. Like when he was a border patrol officer.
Oh, I need to read that.
Oh yeah, no, it's intense. And that was after he was a ranger. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, crazy. Because he was one of the originators of Black Rifle Coffee too.
Right.
Yeah, he was a part of that whole group. Matt Best, all those guys.
Cool.
Yeah, at the very beginning.
Yeah,
of that.
And Jeff, who wrote the books with Jason, Jeff is a part founder of it.
Yeah. There's so are you working on any other fun projects you could talk about right now? Or just wrapped up any?
Let's see. Well, I think what's coming out soon is a show called Lanterns. It's a new HBO show. It's about the Green Lantern, and I doubled Kyle Chandler on that, who plays one of the Green Lanterns, Hal. And that should be coming out this summer, I believe. Okay. But that was a blast. We shot that in LA. And I think it'll be pretty fucking awesome. Did you watch The Penguin? The new
No, I haven't. I need to. I hear it's really good.
It's so good. And so HBO is doing that kind of so The Penguin when you watch it, it doesn't feel like a superhero show. Yeah. It's more like a just action drama. And Lanterns is going to be kind of in that realm, even though it's about a superhero, it's gritty, it's more grounded. The action is more grounded.
Like that dark DC universe type of deal.
Yeah, it's darker. Yeah. There's comedy elements, but I think it's going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And so Aaron Pierre is the other Green Lantern. He's awesome. And Kyle Chandler was great. One of the nicest, most down-to-earth actors I've ever worked with. And it was a real blast to work on it.
Yeah, those sound great. I'm excited. I'm gonna have to have you send me a list of these things so I can watch all of them when they come out.
Just to remind you.
Yeah. And then is there any other projects that you're hoping to get or looking forward to? You got some things in the pipeline?
Yeah, I'm starting a coffee company. I'm in the early stages of it, but pretty unrelated to what I'm doing, but
you drink it every day, so
I drink it every day. Set. I really care that it's organic and clean, and so I thought it'd be cool just to make my own brand of clean, possibly infused with some good supplements, so you can start your day on the right foot.
Oh, 100%, literally. Yeah, it's That makes such a difference. Like something that kind of like limits the inflammation that some people can get from bad coffee.
Yeah,
and burnt beans and the moldy beans and.
Yeah, moldy beans, because coffee beans grow mold super easily, and I didn't know this, but apparently a lot of the dark roast beans they're dark roasted because of the mold that was on them. So they roast off the mold, but it's still gonna.
He was talking to me. You were talking to me about the coffee that the animals have to eat, right? Yeah. Your brother, like
the cat eats it and then it ferments in the stomach, and then.
Oh, is that out in Bali?
Yeah.
That or in Indonesia?
Lived in Philippines, and he knew a guy. I think he's from Indonesia, and it was like $200 for a little.
Yeah,
coffee.
I've heard about it.
You get a little gram bag.
It's like they sift through the cat shit and find coffee.
Have they done any studies on that? Like, it probably has parasites and shit, right?
I don't know. I had a cup of coffee, and
Who are these cats?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Was it good?
It was not. Yeah, it was fine. It was good coffee.
It's called Kaka Java.
Not bad.
But it would be something to like try, I'm sure. But then if it's roasted and stuff, I don't think the parasites would live.
I guess, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a biologist.
Yeah.
Would that be biology? Would that be cophologist?
Cophologist. Let's go with that.
Yeah. Was it? What is it? Anyways, doesn't matter. We don't need to know the term of a coffee scientist. So he's also a coffee scientist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Certified.
Cophologist. He just grabs you there by the beans and then makes you coffee.
Exactly.
We're getting off a little bit here.
Talking about
so
cat poop.
you're saying that like you want to do like just a high end bean. What's the other one too? Is it Dave Asprey's and then there's like Danger Coffee. That was the one.
Coffee. Yeah. Which I love his brand because he remineralizes his coffee, and so that just helps with hydration in the morning if coffee's gonna dehydrate you a bit. So something like that. Yeah,
that'd be huge. Early stages. No, I think that's great. And it fits. It's something you can be passionate about. And then, like you said, depending where you want to source it, and then you can add your own like legitimate flavor or technique to, or have learn or not technique was the word I'm looking for. Approach. We'll just use approach.
Spin or approach.
Yeah, spin or approach. I was thinking formula. Formula is the word I was looking for. Yeah. And I think it's great. Like it makes sense. Yeah. And then if you have a pipeline of people that are going to support you anyways, it's
people love coffee, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And it's probably big in the stunt community, right?
It's big on film sets.
Yeah, huge on film sets, and then you can bring yours out.
Yeah,
drop them
free
off.
Samples.
Yeah, the coffee fairy. That's awesome. I think that's cool to have like just a backup in our hobby, because like if you're doing like. You're a seasonal athlete too, like you're always doing something that has to do with different seasons,
right? Yeah.
When you can, and then just to have, I feel like having something like that's just separate from everything you're doing is great. The host or the guest I had on or my podcast yesterday, I was telling you about that one. He was telling me, his name's Drew. Drew was telling me he has to have something completely separate. Like when he takes his music career, he wants to leave it at home, or leave it on the shelf. And then when he goes, then he's a dad and an instructor and things like that too. So it's probably needed for sanity-based purposes.
Yeah, because I don't know, if you wrap your whole identity into one thing, I think that can. I don't know. It's a recipe for, well, what if that one thing goes away? That's a recipe for depression and lack of purpose.
Mm-hmm. Like you said with the ego thing too on set, like
and the ego thing.
Yeah.
It's so if your whole identity is in this thing, then that's your whole identity. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like that's dangerous. And
that makes sense.
Diversifying it and maybe like if you're diversified, then your identity is more just in yourself. It's like, oh, I'm this person and I happen to be doing all these things, not just, oh, I'm this person that only does this thing. I don't know. I think it just helps with the variety, really helps with mental clarity, I think.
And new dopamine, like you have a new project that serotonin and the whole. I think it helps balance. You start thinking with different parts of your brain for different projects. Yeah, because I'm sure even though going to different movies, different sets, like that can even be monotonous after a while.
It can start. Yeah.
Other than the
can
gratitude,
be a grind at
it
times.
can be a grind. Coffee pun.
Yeah, luckily I haven't really reached that point. Like
hopefully you never do. I don't know if you ever will, but like because
I feel like I won't.
Yeah,
I feel like I won't. But I've heard of, I don't know. I see other like older stunt people. It seems like they're going through it, and I don't really understand it totally. But I don't know. I can understand that things can get old. Even something like a job that I love right now could maybe start to get old, and so I'm open to that being a possibility. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just good to add, like you said, one more layer, one more side quest when you have time, because there's also, I'm sure, times all of us have, or at least people like ourselves here, that like will add too many projects, and then you're like, oh my god.
I have some friends who do that.
Yeah. Luckily, you're a little more calculated. I tried to do that, and I was not. I realized I'm not Joe Rogan. I can't focus on that many things at one time. But he says the same thing. You focus on the things you like, and then have like a couple things that pay the bills, and then have hobbies that you can build up. Because I know you've always wanted to build a business, and like since I've known you, and like something like that's like, it's great because then you don't necessarily have to have a storefront right off the get go.
No, these days it's pretty
drop shipping type style.
Yeah, it's pretty simple to get started with it. Yeah, it definitely, there's a lot of legwork I'm finding, but I'm enjoying the challenge so far of trying to figure it out.
And do you already have the name like patented? Like, can you say the name of the coffee too? Or are you going to hold off on that?
I'm going to hold off.
Yeah, I'd hold off on that just in case.
Yeah, I have intent to use, but I don't know. I think I'll hold off until the website's live.
Yeah, we'll have to get you back on so we can get some, talk about the coffee too.
Yeah, great.
Cool. But I think we're probably going to wrap up today. I really appreciate you being here. Thanks for everything. And thanks, I always admire your hustle and like who you are as a person. You're one of the few people that are on my list of people that I really admire, like all the way through, like not just like what you do, and it's who you are. So like, I just wanted to give you your flowers. You're a great person, and it's you get like sometimes you could be a little bit of an avatar. Like, I'm like, man, what would Chris do today? Thanks, for this, buddy. Like, because you're always grinding. You have an optimistic look on life, and you're doing what you love. So most people don't do that in their life. They don't have all those, So, but I appreciate you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
And then in closing, we usually you'll look into this camera, and then whether it's like, it'll be advice to the guests and listeners. It could be like skills you think like some people should develop, mindset, or just like whatever three things come to your mind.
3 things?
3 things. Yeah.
Okay. I think what's very important is optimism. I think relaxation is very important, and I think curiosity is super important.
100%. Well, thank you for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for all this, for subscribing. I don't know why that word was so hard today. Subscribing. Thanks for follows. Thanks for the shares. Without that, no one would be able to hear this podcast. So thanks to everybody out there. Remember to get out of your heads and into your hearts, and do cool shit like Chris here. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks, buddy.